The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. And it goes like
Alright, guys, I think we're ready to go. Welcome on into the stream, everybody. Alright, here we are. How do I unmute? There you go. He's unmuted. Alright. Alright, let's start this intro over again, alright? Hold on. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, Kopisetic's Cave. I'm your host, Kopisetic Barbarian, and today I'm joined by my guest, Infernomen. Alright. Yeah, I mean, you gotta say something. You can't just say... You gotta say, hello. Alright, anyway. Welcome everybody in the chat as well. I see we already got Guanaco, Mario Kid Gaming, the guest himself, Infernomen. And Dylan and Shyded. Welcome on in to the chat, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about high school football. In episode 2 of our podcast. It's episode 2, by the way. We're going to be talking about some high school football. We're going to get things going right here. I kind of just wrote like a note right here with just like some questions. It's called Questions for Landon. Alright. So we're just going to get right into business here. How long did you play football? That's the first question.
I started playing when I was 6. I started with flag. And then I played until 8th grade, so that's about 7 years.
Alright, cool. Oh yeah, Mike is in here as well. What app is this? We're on Zoom right now. Yeah, so me, I really haven't played for that long. I think when I was little I played flag football and then quit after about 2 days. And then now, I actually just started playing again. I'm doing the conditioning. So, yeah. We're currently in the process of doing conditioning. The practices start on August 16th. It actually isn't too far from now. So, yeah. That's how long I've been playing. So, what was the worst part and what was the best part of football for you? For you personally?
The worst part is that there was this kid that I ended up going to high school with who, just to start stuff with everyone. And he always, made it miserable to be a part of it. So, he's a terrible person still. So, at least I didn't have to keep on playing football with him. I think the best part, though, was actually, doing something positive that went towards the game and having everybody, cheer for you.
Yeah,
Proud of you.
Yeah, nice. I really haven't had much experience with people being a-holes. Or, we can actually cuss on here. With people being assholes, so... Yeah, I haven't had much experience with that, fortunately. But, yeah, and I haven't had experience with the games either. I've had scrimmages, and that's about it. I've had 2 fucking scrimmages. So, yeah, I've had those, and that's about all I've had. But for me, I'm just going to talk about the conditioning, because that's the only part that I've done so far. So the best part of it is finishing, and the worst part is getting up at 6 o'clock in the goddamn morning at the ass crack of dawn to go there. Well, and kind of the running. The running sucks as well. So, did you like football?
I didn't like playing it. I did as a little kid, but, when I started doing tackle, immediately, it was just constant, no breaks, just doing the same things over and over and over again until they eventually let us get water, which was an hour and a half into the practicing.
Wow.
I think I'm more of a football watcher than a football player.
Okay. Yeah, they give us a bunch of water breaks. They don't give us a bunch of water breaks. They give us quite a few. If it's a day where we're running, they'll actually give us quite a few water breaks. We'll do a rep, and then we'll have a small opportunity to get water. So yeah. So did you ever do football at the same time of creating content? So did you ever have to balance the two at any point in your life?
No, I didn't start creating content until 2 years ago. and I quit football before I even got into high school, so I never had to deal with doing that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to, especially when the season starts. I'm gonna have to be balancing that with content creation in school as well. God, that's gonna be fucking terrible. All right. So what were some of the best plays you've ever had, like on the field? What were some of the best plays you've ever had that you can remember?
Well, one time, I think this was like one of the last games of the season. We were pretty close with this other team, and I almost never got to play offense. But one time they put me on, and somebody was like coming straight at our quarterback, and was like right in front of them, and like I dove in front of them and like tripped them with my entire body, so they fell over and started tackling our quarterback. And then our quarterback threw the pass like super far and tossed it to the wide receiver, and then we won the game.
Nice. So I mean, I've done scrimmages, and honestly, I'm kind of trash, but I mean, I guess the best play I've had in those are like, so like I'm a tackle. I'm a right tackle. So there was a few times where like I drove them like way back into the field, which those are probably my best plays. I mean, tackle in like the line is kind of like some boring ass positions, except for kind of the defense. The defense is more fun. Also, if any of you guys in chat have any experience with high school football and would like to talk about it in any way, then you can feel free to do that. You can feel free to engage in our conversations here. Were you in good shape when you played?
Well, I haven't been in good shape since I was 6 years old.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, like at some point in the season, it didn't feel like I was in pain all the time while playing because my body was used to it. But always at the beginning of the season, I had to get used to getting into a shape where my body was in pain all the time. And then eventually, at some point in the season, I was just used to it and didn't hurt anymore. And I felt like,
6 years old. Yeah, dude.
Okay,
6 years old.
The thing is that like I had to convince my dad. I had to convince my dad because he's a big thing. He's a big person on like staying fit and stuff like that because he hasn't always been in the best shape, and he's been working out for a bunch of years now, and he doesn't want me to fall into a path where I'm overweight, which I've never really been overweight. I just get a little bit big.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
But I had to convince him when I did eventually convince him to like let me not do football anymore. I told him that I was doing show choir, which was like a lot of exercise for me. Plus, I had marching band going on in the fall, so
Marching band.
there was
nice.
that as well. So I eventually convinced him, and then when I told him I didn't want to do band in college, he's still upset about that, saying that I need to do it. Like, I'm an adult. I'm going to be living on my own.
I'm an adult. I do what I fucking want.
At the same time, though, I told him this. My friends and I are planning on having a workout routine in school because we have free access to a gym. So like,
oh, that's nice.
Routine. Yeah. So like, I told him all this and how, and he's like, "Are you going to stay committed to it?" And I said, "Yeah, this is like what we wanted to do for a while." He just doesn't believe in me, I think.
Oh, shit. Alright, well, I think I might have a way to improve my lighting over here. That better?
Yeah.
Alright, bet. Oh, shit, I skipped a couple. So, this one I think you already answered. Do you like watching or playing more? You said watching, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, what position did you play?
I played a lot of just defensive tackle, linemen, just trying to. They really just put me on defense a lot. I remember I started doing tackle in 4th grade, and then
Fourth grade, nice.
Yeah, and then Because at that point, I was on the Junior Warriors, which the high school I went to, Washington, our mascot was the Warriors. So the middle schoolers that would go into Wash, they would be on the Junior Warriors until they would be old enough in middle school. Because middle school, they don't have football until you're in 7th grade. So it's only 7th and 8th grade that have tackles. So you were on the Junior Warriors from 3rd grade all the way into 6th grade. But I didn't get to play in 3rd grade, so I did flag again in 3rd grade.
Okay. So yeah, ours is a little different. I think they have a small league for like, I want to say it's like 2nd through like 7th grade. And then, oh my god, I just got flooded with Discord notifications just now. So, yeah, wait, what in the shit was I saying? What in the shit? Is that even a fucking expression? Alright, so what were we just talking? Oh yeah, they put me on we were talking about like how it works. So they have you be on like that smaller league for like 2nd to 7th grade, and then so what they would normally do is they would have you play starting 8th grade, and then you just kind of go up until, the end of high school if you want to go in college or past that, whatever. So, yeah, so they'll have you go up to there. So we didn't start until in 8th grade, but because of COVID, we didn't get to play 8th grade. Now we're playing this year, so. Yeah, never played football. It's the one sport you don't understand. So okay, all right. That was just shy dude who said that. All right.
5th grade was my biggest tackle season. Like I got a lot of tackles that season, and like I was a beast on the field. So my last name is Beast, BYS, and everybody in football calls you by your last name. That's usually how most sports are. So they would go around. And nobody ever said my last name right. It's pronounced Beast, but they said it as Bees. Like
I thought it was Buys.
So everybody would just go around calling it Beast Mode Bees. Be like, it's Beast Mode Bees.
Hey.
That was me.
Okay.
Also, on the Junior Warriors, my football coach was actually somebody who was a wide receiver in the NFL for multiple teams. He actually went to my high school, and he went to college at the University of Northern Iowa, which is where I'm going. His name is Diedrich Ward. He played for the Jets, the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Patriots, and the Cowboys. He had a whole camp set up and everything every summer where kids that aren't football can go. And his son, Mason, is actually in my grade. He did not graduate from Wash, I don't think. He did go to Wash for a few years, but then he transferred to another school. But yeah, it was awesome having like somebody that was actually a player in the NFL coach us for a few years.
All right. Have you ever been injured while playing?
No, I like stitches and broken bones. Never. The first time and the only time I've had a broken bone and have gotten stitches was when I fell off a hoverboard freshman year of high school.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You get out of like how many years of football?
7.
7 years of football scratch free. The next, you said that you stopped in freshman year, right?
Yeah, I didn't do high school football.
All right, so then you go into freshman. 7 years of football, not a single energy. Fall off a fucking hoverboard. Oh God. That's funny.
I have terrible balance, and I'm a tall guy with some pounds. So when I was on the hoverboard, my friend who owned the hoverboard was trying to help me get on.
Yeah.
But, like, he's shorter than me and like super skinny. So like when he tried to help me balance, like he couldn't like really control me, and I fell over backwards. My leg went under me, and like I fell onto my leg, and I broke my ankle. Like I fractured it in 3 places.
Ah.
So I had to get surgery. I have 3 screws in my ankle now.
Oh wow. I've actually broken my left arm, just the left arm, 4 times.
Yeah, I think you told me about that
Oh
the
yeah,
other day.
yeah. Oh yeah, I did say that in your chat. I never had to get it. I never had to get any like stitches or anything, so it wasn't like that major. It was just like a cast. But all right. So why did you stop playing?
Um, I guess I just never really wanted to play in the first place, and it just took so many years for me to tell my dad that I didn't want to do it. And every year, like, he would be like, "Oh, you got to do something, and you got to do a sport, and all that garbage." And I needed to be active and needed to be doing something until. See, the biggest problem was is that I planned to stop doing it in middle school. Like, as soon as I hit 6th grade, I was just like, all right, I'm going to get into show choir, and I am not going to be doing football anymore. I'm going to convince my dad. I didn't get into
Okay.
show choir.
Left
I
side
guess
equals unlucky side.
I guess they didn't want me in that year, so I actually ended up being in the tech crew. But like football season was already over before show choir started, so like when I talked to my dad about it, he's just like, "You don't know if you're gonna make it in or not, yada yada yada." So I was just like, okay. So 7th grade, I had to do football again, but I didn't make it into show choir, and my idiot science teacher who did not understand the concept of me having Asperger's sent me to the office one day, so I got an office referral, which disqualified me from applying for tech crew that year, so I wasn't able to be a part of show choir at all. Then in 8th grade, I still had to do football, but then I got into show choir, so my dad was just like, all right, this is like an actual thing in your life, and like you had a lot of fun with it. And I was like, yeah, can I stop doing football now? And he's like, if you keep on doing show choir, then sure. So I did that throughout high school.
All right, nice. Yeah. So my dad, he's more of a believer in like you don't really have to do a sport as long as you're still getting exercise. So he still wants me to try football though, which is understandable because I don't have a lot of experience with the sport. Like I think I played before I started football. I played a season of baseball. I quit that. I was a really good quitter when it comes to sports when I was little. And I wanted to quit trying to ride a bike. And all right, here's kind of a funny story. This kind of branches away from football. I was riding a bike. My dad was like, "All right, look, you're going to learn how to ride a bike." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to ride a bike." And we kept like arguing. And my dad just fucking laid the foot down. He's like, he literally said this to my face. He's like, "Johnny, I'm not going to let you be this much of a fucking pussy. All your entire grade knows how to ride a bike. I'm not going to fucking let you be the only one who doesn't know how to ride a goddamn bike. So you get your ass on that bike, and you learn how to fucking ride that bitch." And I was 6 years old, too.
Yeah, I never learned how to ride a bike. Then,
Yeah. Oh,
I
wow.
mean, like, when my parents, like, attempted to get me to ride a bike, they were like...
Holy F-bombs. Yeah, dude.
They said that it was going to be embarrassing for me if I never learned how to ride a bike and I needed to do it without training wheels and stuff like that. But now that I'm grown up and I've had, like, plenty of experiences with, like, not having good balance at all, I'm flat-footed, so that's part of it. Now my parents are just like, oh, there's a reason why he doesn't know how to ride a bike. It's because he didn't want to because he has no balance. And, like, we don't want him, like, hurting himself just to ride a bike to fit in with social norms. So, like, every time I tell somebody I don't know how to ride a bike, I'm just like, I just don't want to die.
I just don't want to die. I don't want to die from bumping into a tree, man. Hey, Mario Kid Gaming, hello. I'm pretty sure you are already here, but hello. Okay, so what was I talking about before we got into bikes? Oh yeah, so my dad, he still wants me to try football. He said, voice crack. He said this season he wants me to play 4 games. And then he said that after the 4 games, if I don't like it, he said he'll let me quit if I want to. So I only have to play like half the season, so it's pretty good. Which so that's like around the beginning of October, which means that I'll have to play a minimum of like 3 more months of football. Or wait, shit, like 2 more. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you learn anything good out of playing football? Like, did it teach you anything that like you could use in the rest of your life?
I learned not to let other people make me believe what kind of a person I can be capable of being, and like letting them get me down. Because being a person with Asperger's or any form of autism,
Yeah.
um, when people are direct with you and like tell you how they feel about you and stuff like that, it hits hard because like you believe that what they said is like actually true about you.
That's
And
pretty fucked
that
up.
kid I told you about earlier that was always mean to me, like he would always get to me, and that's why like
It
we
was because
argue
you
all the time.
had
Yeah.
Asperger's,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's just
I've always
that's
thought
one thing.
I've always thought that word sounds funny as hell. Asperger's. I remember
Well,
I
it's
was
spelled Asperger's, like with a P.
oh, I have a funny story. So like I don't really know how this got brought up. I was like joking around with my friend and I'm like he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like I'm picking my ass burgers and I meant to say ass boogers. And he's like, "Yo, wait, you have Asperger's? What the fuck?" It was hilarious. All right, and that's actually all the questions, but I feel like we can still talk a little bit longer. So we're gonna talk about conditioning. Did you have to do conditioning when you were in middle school?
I mean, like what kind of conditioning?
Like, did you have to do like weights, running? Did you have to do anything during the summer?
Yeah, they had something set up in like seventh grade, eighth grade. Nah. Well, yeah, we were done with like being junior warriors. Like we weren't part of the team anymore, but like they still had something set up for people that were still doing tackle football for their school, and
Yeah.
like it was called the hitting bar, and basically we went there and like they had like dummies and stuff for us to push and stuff like that, and like it was like 2 to 3 hours of that kind of stuff, and I didn't want to do it, but they made me. So well, at least my dad made me. Like it was
Yeah.
completely optional. Like we didn't have to, but my dad made me do it, and I really hated it. So
All right. Oh yeah. So some pop in my mind that we can talk about. So COVID, right?
mm,
I don't have to deal with COVID because they have like they actually have a policy now where they actually don't allow you to wear a mask because it can suffocate you because we do like a lot of running and shit, and like if you have a mask on, that's kind of bad because we actually have heard about kids who have like passed out because of it, and like I think everyone gets tested and stuff, so like we know we're all good. So they don't. So they actually require no masks now, but last year they did require them because that's when COVID was like really bad. So my friend, he was in football that year. He was a freshman that year. He's a sophomore now. And then he was like telling me about like you had to wear masks while you were in all that football gear. Could you just like imagine how bad that would be?
yeah, that would be terrible. I always almost suffocated like without a mask. So
With
I
one, it'll be a lot easier to suffocate.
yeah. Well, it's just that professional football players like during their season they didn't have to, and I'm pretty sure that the kids at my high school never had to wear masks. It was really just the people in the audience that had to wear them.
Okay.
Like even for marching band, I didn't really get to do marching band because there wasn't like an actual season, but it was optional to like play during halftime at the senior recognition night. So I played during that, and we had like masks that were made that had like holes cut into them, so we could use our mouthpieces and play the instruments. But like I know that
That's
the
kind
football
of creative.
players
That's
never had
creative.
to wear them.
That's pretty creative.
Yeah, most bands were doing them. Like there's an actual company that has band masks.
Nice. Mario Kid says, "I want to die from a lion." Jesus Christ. Um. Hey, we can talk. All right. What else is I gonna say? I know I was. Was I going to say something else? All right. What about like those? Have you ever had to do like running drills? Like, what are the worst running drills that you've done?
Like, what's a running drill? Like, what do you mean by that?
Like when you have to like, or not really like a running drill, but like, what's the worst form of running that you have to do? Because like we have to do like gassers and shit, so like, something like that.
They just made us like run laps at the beginning of every practice. Like we didn't really have to do anything like that. They just made us run stuff, and then we did the practicing stuff, like the jumping over the foam things, whatever they were. Like we had to jump over them, like run around them, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do, like, a bunch of different shit. So on Monday's always the worst day of conditioning. Because, like, so they have it set up where we run Monday and Wednesday. Monday, it's the entire practice. Wednesday, they do it for half of it, and then we lift weights for the other half. So, and Monday's always the worst because we do half-gassers. So, like, we have this full basketball court, and there's also an aux, connected to it. So it's like it's pretty long. So you have to start at like the beginning of the court. You run all the way to the end, full sprint, and then you backward sprint, not backpedal. You backward sprint back, to the beginning of the court. So those are always a bitch because on Monday the coach says that we do 4 sets of 6 most of the time. Or no, it's 3 sets of 6. So, yeah, so we do all that. We do 6 reps. So we have to do that kind of 6 times straight. And they split us into 3 groups. There's the big guys who are like the linemen and shit. There's a group of like quarterbacks and tight ends and like running backs. And then there's a group of like wide receivers and corners and stuff like that. So they'll have the big guys do a rep, which I'm in the big guys group, and then they have the quarterbacks, tight ends, running backs, they do a lap, and then the receivers, and then it goes back. And then so in the middle of each set, they give us like a 2-minute long break, and they let us get water as well. So we'll do those, and like I remember there was one kid who said, "God, it feels like the earth is losing oxygen right now." Yeah, those are always a bitch. And you know what? What's worse? The coach is like, "All right, so if any of you guys fuck something up, if any of you guys don't touch that line over there," and he would like kind of talk in this tone of voice, probably a bit louder actually. "If you guys don't touch that line over there, or something, you do some stupid shit, we're adding 1 rep to every remaining set." So he says that, and then so like if someone fucks something up in like the first, and like the most common thing is that someone wouldn't touch the line. So if someone fucks something up in the first set, we have to do 3 sets of 9. Shut the fuck up, Guanaco. Voice crack. If it happens in the second set, and then we'll see the 2 remaining sets are still there, we would do 7, or not 9, it would be 7. I think I said 9. So what happened during the first set? The same fucking kid. He sprinted all the way down. He was a yard short of the fucking line before backwards sprinting back. This happened 3 times, all in the first set. So that day we ended up having to do. Actually, I think we had to do a lot more than we were supposed to do. We had to do 3 sets of 9. So I'm like, hell no, I'm not fucking having this. So I actually went out of the gym and I skipped like 9 reps. Because I'm like, hell no, I'm not about to fucking do something that some other motherfucker made me goddamn do.
Yeah, so in the first time that I did tackle 4th grade, I don't know why, but they, like, for the first 2 years of tackle, they had us practice at the field that my middle school was in, but we weren't even in middle school yet, and like half of the kids in the middle school, in the junior warriors, wouldn't even be going to the same middle school, so they were playing on a field for a school that they wouldn't even be going to, but that's where we had practice, and like we just went around the track because the football field is in the middle of the track, so like, there's a track around it, and that's where we had practice, so that's why we just had to run around. But at the beginning of every practice, like when we went to a different field, there was an elementary school that we went to after that we did practice at, and at that school they made us at the beginning of every practice like run on a hill, and this hill Like usually hills, they're like steep like this, but this one was like curved like this.
Oh, what the
Like
fuck? It was like this?
yeah, it was like halfway to being a wall. So that's how bad
Uh,
it was.
huh.
And we had to run up and down it, and then like do sideways, and then we had to like do crab crawls on it and stuff like that. It was terrible. And then one time in class, I mean not class, in practice, um, like that kid, the same kid that messed with me. Like we were really mad at each other during this practice, and his mom brought him like McDonald's for dinner in the middle of practice, and he was eating it. Like every time that we took a break, he would eat some of it and then go back out. So like he had a thing of ketchup, like that you dip
That's
fries in.
a stupid ass decision. You don't want to do that.
I didn't do anything, but I was like talking to my friend. I said, you know what? What if I like? Because what I'm about to say, it sounds stupid, but that's because I was a sixth grader in middle school.
Well, yeah, sixth graders are stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said,
Hey, look, no
oh,
offense
what
to
if
any of
I
the
took
sixth
the
graders in
ketchup-
chat. No offense.
What if I took the ketchup thing and smeared it on his head and you said, "Huh, what's up? Roby's a fucking vampire." And then I didn't mean to say fucking. I meant to say freaking. One of our coaches, like to the left of us, heard me say it. It's like, Beast, did you just say what I thought you just said? Go run on the hill. And I just ran over there crying. I'm like, I'm sorry, coach, I slipped out. And I had to run like 5 times up and down the hill.
Yeah, so I remember before I did football, we did this one other exercise program, and so there's like this big ass hill. It was more of like, it wasn't like this. It was more of like this kind of incline, but it was still steep as hell. So I remember he did this thing. I think they were called Big Berthas or some shit. I don't fucking know why. So they would have us like run up the hill, and then they would have us like kind of run down, and like they would do like some weird fucking loop. But we just had to like run up the hill, and that shit fucking sucked. But I remember like that little workout program. I'm not gonna say what it's called because I don't really know if I want to do that. It was like it was so hard for me at the time. But then like I'm looking back on it, I'm like, holy fuck, I would kill to do that instead of this shit. So, yeah, and then so what I was saying about like your friend who you said that after a break he would like eat McDonald's or something and go back out. So the thing, you don't want to eat food, and like this is what I've realized. You don't want to eat food before you go to practice, and you also don't want to eat a lot like the previous night as well, because like we'll do gassers on Monday. Dead ass, there will be like how many? About like 10 people just fucking throw up because their dumbass decided to eat like a bunch of shit the previous night, or decided to eat something that morning, which I always eat after I get back, which is the smarter thing to do. And so, and they make you go in like the trash cans or the toilets as well. Because, like, I remember one time, there was one kid who barfed on the floor because he couldn't make it to the trash can, and the coach fucking made him clean it up. It was hilarious. He's like, "Hey, did you just puke on the ground right here?" And he's like, "Yes, coach." "Clean it up!" And this fucking dude, he actually cleaned that shit up. It was hilarious.
Yeah, well, one time before practice, like, we were rushing to practice because my mom and I were, like, at the store right beforehand. And, like, she was just taking me to the store to get groceries right before she was going to take me to practice. And I hadn't had dinner, so she got me, like, 2, like, meal-sized Lunchables. And, she said, "You're a big boy. You can have 2 of these." And I was just like,
Hey,
"Oh,
I'm a
shit."
big kid now, Mom. I'm a big kid now.
So she let me get one of those and, like, a giant Powerade. So, like, on the way to practice, I had to eat them as fast as possible.
Oh no. You want to save those for after.
There were two of those
Gatorade's
like
probably fine,
half-size sub ones, so they were like sandwiches. And I just remember eating those both, and then they both came with packages of Cheez-Its and like a water bottle of mixed Kool-Aid powder into it, so I had all of that, and then I had the Powerade. I didn't drink it, the Powerade. I was saving that for practice, but so I get out of there, and like my stomach's full and everything, and I'm just like, I go up to my friend Sam, who was there, and I was just talking to him about how I ate all that stuff and I probably shouldn't have. And like they were practicing by doing throws because Sam was a wide receiver, so he was practicing his catches. and then the other person he was catching with threw the football, and it like landed like it. He threw it, and his football like landed hard into my stomach, and I like tumbled over, and I was like, that probably wasn't the best thing ever, but I didn't throw up. Like I held it in.
Yeah, that's
like,
good.
I did the entire practice feeling that way, and I somehow didn't throw up a single time.
Yeah, so probably the time that I came closest to throwing up was when we went to the Mo West camp. This was on June 10th, so this was like a little over a month ago. We went there, and we had like there's this big ass buffet that they gave us for lunch, and I remember like I did something really fucking stupid. I ate like way too much, and then right after I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fucking throw up. I knew it was gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I was telling like all the other linemen, and they'll be like, nah, bro, you're good. And like but there was another one who's like, yeah, you're probably gonna throw up. I feel like I'm gonna throw up as well. But I didn't throw up. Cause like I don't know why, but like after I started playing, I didn't like throw up. And let me actually tell you a story about when we were going to that camp. So we were on the bus. It's like a 3-hour fucking bus ride from my house. So like it's a long ass ride. And they had us like, so they put us on a bus, right? For some reason they did freshmen and seniors to a bus, and then sophomore and junior to the other bus, which doesn't make any sense. So I was over, and so our bus driver, like he was kind of leading, like it was kind of like a caravan, and our bus driver was in the front. This fucking stupid ass bitch, he makes a wrong right turn. I think I've actually said this on my stream before. Guanaco, I think I've actually told her this story. This stupid ass bitch makes a wrong right turn. He doesn't realize it until he's about 2 minutes like into the drive. We're on this big ass bus. There's a 2-lane road, and it's like a dangerous road too. Like it's like one of those roads where like there's kind of like a divot on the end, and it just flattens out, so it's like this. So, yeah, so if we're falling off, we're going down here, and our bus is fucking flipping over. So, this dumb ass decides to fucking reverse us all the way back onto the main road. So he tries to do that, and then so the bus is literally like kind of, there's part of it like hanging off. Like there's like a small part of the bus hanging off. We're all fucking freaking out, and then there's this one just absolute goddamn genius finds directions to like the facility that we're supposed to go to. And so he tells the bus driver. Bus driver takes a different way. Guess what? The fucking road is closed. The road was closed. Once again, 2-lane road, big ass bus. We can't make a 3-point turn or anything to get back over. We have to fucking... So this dumbass's solution. Alright, so this is kind of hard to visualize, right? So this is the road. There's like this little like rocky road which goes to this random parking lot. And I think it's like a parking lot to like this lake. Which like there's like this hill. And then the lake is down here. So this dumbass backs us off this hill. All like literally we're this goddamn close to going to this fucking lake. The some grace of God, we don't fall in the lake. Like I'm more towards the front of the bus, so like I'm like kind of at this like incline, but the people in the back are like they're over here like this. So like they're freaking the hell out. Like I can just imagine they're freaking the fuck out. So then we get back on the road, and then obviously this dude didn't, plan for this to happen. So this other kid, the same kid who found the alternate directions to the camp, he was like telling him how to get back, and like he didn't know what to do, so he fucking like slammed on the brakes so many goddamn times. And then so finally we get there, we were safe, and then so we did the camp. The first half was alright. This was a scrimmage, by the way, and this is like the whole goddamn day. So there was the first part of the scrimmage, which was indoors. The indoor part it sucked, but like it was fine. And then the second part, though, we were in 100-degree heat, in pads and helmets, and there was turf. we were we were fried. So it was miserable. We got through it, and then I had some Japanese steakhouse dinner when I got home. That shit's fucking good. And the rest of the day was fine. I remember, like, I literally cannot hold my eyes open. I went to bed at 10 that day, which is way earlier than I usually do. So, and did you ever have 2-days? Yeah, dude, you don't want to have 2-days. Like, 2-days fucking sucked. Like, we would go in the morning from 6 to 8:30, and then we would go back at 6 to 8. And there was, like, a whole week of this, and, like, this was, like, one of the first weeks of, like conditioning and stuff. So I kind of consider this the initiation week. So, yeah, we did all that stuff, and, like, there was, like, the helmets. Like, they were like, all right, we're going to fit your helmet. And it was already, I felt like it was way too tight. So then you ever got your helmet fitted where they, like, put, like, air into your helmet and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put, like, all right, they're like, okay, I think we need a little bit more air on this side right here. And they put, like, 85 pumps in. And they're like, it literally feels like your skull is going to become denser when you take the helmet off. Like, it feels like I remember my friend said he took the helmet off and he's like, okay, there's no fucking way my head is not a different shape right now.
It's just like shaped like this. It's just got a little bubble on top of your head.
Yeah, it's just got a bubble. Yeah, that's hilarious. So, yeah. Yeah, and those camps sucked, and I think a lot of the reason was because of the fucking helmet. It was way uncomfortable. So, alright, so we're almost actually about ready to end off the podcast here. We're going to do a little bit of a shorter one than episode 1, but before we end off, I would like to ask, do you have any, like, funny football stories?
Not really that I can think of, other than the one I said about the ketchup and stuff like that. Nothing really funny happened other than that, except for, like, stupid stuff that ended up, like, just being pointless. It's not really a story, it's really just stuff that got me hit. Or just thrown at me.
Oh, shit.
From that idiot.
Yeah. Alright, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. Just
all right.
that I don't miss it at all.
Yeah, I'm sure I won't when I end it off. But yeah, so that's actually going to be the end of today's podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it, the podcast, whether you're watching live or if you are watching the replay. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been fun. I personally did have a lot of fun. If you did have fun, be sure to leave a like and be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Just do that. But yeah, so we're gonna be ending off here. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and I will see you guys all on Friday for some Skyward Sword HD. See you guys on Friday for Skyward Sword HD. Have an amazing day, everyone, and I will see you all later. I'm gonna end the meeting right here.